They weren't just born successful. They didn't stumble upon greatness by accident. The people who built legacies, who changed the course of their lives, and in some cases history, they all had one thing in common. They chose it, not once, but every single day. They didn't wait for perfect timing or sudden inspiration. They acted, consistently, with clarity, with courage. You see, it's not talent that shapes destinies. It's not luck or connections or some magical moment of motivation. It's the habits, those quiet, relentless rituals behind the curtain. Success is a rhythm, not a leap. It's composed in early mornings, focused routines, and the decision to rise again even when no one's watching. Let's rewind. Before every achievement, there was a decision, a vivid, unwavering choice that said, "This is where I'm going." And that clarity became the compass. When you know what you want, not vaguely, not maybe, but with a fire that doesn't flicker, you begin to shape the world around that desire. Your energy aligns. Your attention sharpens. Life starts to move in rhythm with your intent. Think about Malala Yousafzai. Not the moment she won the Nobel Prize, but the years of focus, purpose, and unshakable drive that led there. She didn't dabble. She committed. Her mission was forged in challenge, but it was her focus that shaped the path. It wasn't just brilliance. It was a burning direction. Now imagine this. What if you made that kind of choice today? Not just a wish, not a vague hope, a powerful declaration of what you're building, who you're becoming, and where you're headed. Most people drift. They change directions with every new distraction, every fear, every shiny opportunity. But not you. Not anymore. From this moment, you choose your direction. You commit to it, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Direction creates power, and clarity isn't a luxury. It's the foundation. When your mind is anchored in vision, your steps carry force. You're no longer reacting. You're designing, and that changes everything. Suddenly, your habits aren't random. They're tools. Your time isn't wasted. It's invested. And even setbacks don't derail you. They refine you. The world begins to notice. Opportunities appear not because they're new, but because you've changed how you see them. And here's the truth. The moment you claim your purpose with conviction, your brain, your focus, your entire being starts reorienting. You awaken new resilience. You start noticing paths where others see walls. You act with an energy even you didn't know you had. This isn't magic. It's momentum, but it only starts when you decide. So before we go further, pause and ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what others expect. Not what sounds impressive. What sets your soul on fire? Write it down. Say it aloud. See it so clearly that you could paint it with your words. Let it become your reference point. Every morning, every night. Let it be the standard for every decision. Does this bring me closer to my vision? That's how clarity becomes power. And here's the best part. When your life is built around purpose, it doesn't just feel meaningful, it is. You become aligned, energized, focused, not by force, but by inspiration. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about pursuing alignment. You'll still face detours. You'll still stumble. But you'll know exactly where you're going, and that changes how you rise. So decide. Not someday. Now. Choose the life you're here to live. Stand behind that vision with everything you've got. Because once you do, the world opens up, not with guarantees, but with possibility. And possibility, fueled by purpose, becomes unstoppable. Greatness doesn't shout. It whispers. It whispers in those early hours when no one's watching. In the quiet decisions no one celebrates. In the small wins that build into something unstoppable. And at the heart of all of it, one force, self-command. This isn't about rigid control or forcing yourself into a mold. This is about leading yourself when no one else will. It's about showing up for your mission, especially when motivation is nowhere to be found. Let's be honest. Everyone gets excited at the start. The goal is shiny. The dream is loud. But what separates the ones who finish from the ones who fade is consistency. Not excitement. Not hype. Discipline. Think about Simone Biles. Her brilliance didn't come from talent alone. It came from showing up, again and again, when most wouldn't. Pushing past fatigue, past doubt, past the urge to settle. Her routines were art, yes, but behind the artistry was repetition, focus, commitment, not when it felt good, but when it mattered. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel, it cares what you do, and that's the truth. Feelings are fleeting, but action, daily, intentional, repeated action, builds strength that feelings never could. You want success? Stop waiting to feel ready. Get up and move. Do you know what discipline really is? It's love. It's love for your future self. It's saying, I believe in my vision enough to fight for it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's boring, even when no one claps. And here's the twist. When you embrace discipline, you gain freedom. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from regret. Freedom from the anxiety of wondering, what if I had tried harder? Because you did try. You are trying. It's the daily choice to align your actions with your purpose. It's how you build something that lasts. Start small. Don't wait for a grand moment. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Finish the thing you've been avoiding. Turn intention into execution. These micro-wins, they matter. They compound. They create a version of you that can weather storms, break barriers, and keep climbing. Look, there's nothing wrong with talent. But talent without discipline is a masterpiece unpainted. It's potential that never touches reality. It's discipline that transforms potential into power. So, how do you build it? One decision at a time. Set standards and live by them. Train your focus. Choose food, words, thoughts that reflect who you're becoming. Speak kindly. Act boldly. Rest deliberately. Show up, especially when it's hard, because life will test you. You will get tired. Emotions will try to steer the ship, but those who lead themselves, they keep building. They don't crumble. They adapt. They push forward. Discipline isn't flashy. It's not trending on social media, but it's the thread running through every story of real success. Every Olympic gold. Every breakthrough invention. Every quiet triumph. And it can run through your story, too. Start now. Be your own coach. Your own accountability. Your own fire. The world might cheer later, but today, it's on you. That's not a burden. That's a gift. Because once you master yourself, you unlock everything else. There's something extraordinary that happens when brilliant minds come together, not in competition, but in unity. Behind every legendary figure, every world-shaking invention, every movement that left a mark, you'll find it. Collaboration. Not just teamwork. Not just working in the same room. Intentional alliance. Purposeful, strategic, values-aligned connection. Success is rarely a solo act. Take Elon Musk. His innovations weren't born in isolation. SpaceX, Tesla. Those weren't one-man shows. They were the product of bold vision, yes, but also the power of building networks of experts, thinkers, creators who could multiply each other's impact. That's what a mastermind does. It creates exponential growth. You bring your strengths. Others bring theirs. And suddenly, you're not just adding value, you're multiplying it. So if you want to go far, build your circle wisely. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Not flatterers, not echo chambers, allies, builders, honest mirrors, creative minds, those who push you higher because they care. Ask yourself, who in your life truly challenges you to grow? If the answer is no one, then maybe it's time to upgrade the room you're in, because proximity is power. Sit at tables where vision is normal, not rare. where dreaming big isn't laughed at, it's expected. And don't wait for the perfect group to form. Create it. Seek out those who align with your mission. Share ideas. Set goals together. Hold each other accountable. This isn't about quantity. It's about quality. Even two aligned minds can move mountains when they share a common cause. But here's the key. Collaboration only thrives when there's mutual respect. Harmony doesn't mean sameness. It means shared direction, diverse perspectives, different strengths, but the same heartbeat. Want to build a business? Surround yourself with problem solvers. Want to stay consistent? Find someone who values discipline as much as you do. Want to grow? Be around lifelong learners. This applies to every part of your life, not just work. Relationships, health, creativity, emotional well-being. All of it is impacted by the people you walk with. You don't need thousands. You need alignment. Build slowly, build intentionally, and nurture those connections like the rare treasures they are. And here's the mindset shift. Don't just look for value. Be value. Be the one who shows up, who listens deeply, who supports without conditions, who gives without keeping score. Great partnerships don't form by accident. They grow through consistency, trust, and shared belief. And when they do, everything accelerates. Ideas flow faster. Doubt shrinks. Courage grows. Resources multiply. Energy compounds. You're no longer carrying the dream alone. You're building it together. This is how movements begin, how legacies are formed, not just by solo geniuses, but by aligned groups who believe in something bigger than themselves. So ask yourself today, who's in your circle? Who speaks life into your vision? And even more importantly, whose circle are you lifting? Because when you step into true collaboration, you unlock more than momentum. You unlock meaning, connection, resilience, a shared climb to the summit. Success becomes not just possible, but unavoidable. What sets extraordinary apart from average isn't some secret strategy. It's not just intelligence or timing. It's this. They consistently do more than what's asked. That extra effort, that moment where others stop, and you keep going, that's the turning point. Excellence isn't a lucky break. It's a conscious choice, a personal standard, a refusal to coast. Think of someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Not just an actor, not just a wrestler, a brand, a machine, a man who wakes up at 4 a.m. to train, not because anyone demands it, but because he demands it of himself. That mindset, it's not about showing off, it's about showing up. Every time, it's the quiet power of going the extra mile. When you live this way, people notice, even if they can't explain why. They trust you, they remember you, because you deliver more, not just once, but always. And here's the truth, that extra mile, it's almost always empty. Most people quit at 90%. Good enough. So when you push past that line, you're already in rare air. That's where leaders are born, where careers take flight, where passion becomes legacy. But let's be clear, this isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's not doing everything. It's doing what matters deeply, thoroughly, with heart. In your work, don't just meet deadlines, beat them. Add insight, add care. In your relationships, don't just listen. Hear. Show up. Check in. In your personal growth, don't just read, apply. Don't just plan, act. This isn't for applause. It's for alignment. Because when you do more, you become more. You build character, reputation, resilience. People of impact, they're not trying to impress. They're trying to serve. And that service, done consistently, is what opens doors, creates reputation, builds trust that money can't buy. Going above and beyond is a habit, a mindset. And yes, it's a challenge. It asks more of you, but it gives more back. Confidence, clarity, connection, fulfillment. Let's reframe the question. Don't ask, what's the minimum I can do? Ask, what's the most I can give right now? Give more attention, more precision, more kindness, more effort, and watch what happens. Opportunities begin to find you, not because you shouted louder, but because you delivered better. You stood out, not by demanding attention, but by earning it. This mindset isn't loud, but it's unmistakable. It shows in how you carry yourself, in how you follow through, in how you do the things others overlook. And here's the real gift. When you choose to do more than expected, you're no longer competing with others. You're competing only with yesterday's you. That's where growth lives. In that space, just beyond comfort. In the second rep, the extra draft. The extra 5 minutes of intention. If the world asks for average, give it excellence. Not for validation, but because you've decided that's who you are. Every action becomes a message. Every task becomes an opportunity to leave a mark. And that mark, that's what builds a name, a legacy, a future worth living. So whatever it is you're working on right now, push just a little further. Stay just a little longer. Care just a little more. Because greatness doesn't live in the obvious. It lives just past the line most people never cross. There's a superpower that's becoming rarer every day. It's not speed, not charisma, not even intelligence. It's this, the ability to focus. In a world that constantly demands your attention, the person who can direct theirs fully, deliberately, and consistently has an edge most never tap into. Because distraction is everywhere. Notifications, noise, opinions, infinite scrolling. But if you can master your focus, you don't just survive in this chaos. You rise. Look at someone like J.K. Rowling. She didn't write Harry Potter in perfect conditions. She wrote in cafes, while raising a child, under pressure and uncertainty. What got her through? Not luck, not perfect inspiration. Discipline, focus, consistency. She tuned out the noise to tune into her mission. You can do the same. But it starts with a decision. What truly deserves your attention? Because not everything urgent is important. Not every voice needs your response. Not every trend needs your time. Focus is power. Scattered energy is diluted energy. You could work for 10 hours distracted or 1 hour fully present, and the difference in output is staggering. Controlled attention isn't about working more. It's about working right. And here's the truth. Deep focus is uncomfortable at first. Your brain will resist. Your habits will rebel. But stay with it. Train it. Like a muscle, your ability to concentrate grows stronger every time you practice. Turn off the noise. Block out the fluff. Create space that invites depth. Set timers. Use rituals. Build boundaries around your best hours. Not just for work, but for you. For the things that feed your purpose, that build your future. And when you sit down to create, be all in. Don't give half your mind to what deserves your whole heart. Don't multitask your way through the mission you say matters. Because when you're fully present, magic happens. This is how world-changing art is created, how businesses are built, how breakthroughs emerge, not in scattered hours, but in focused ones. Here's a trick. Start with intent. Before every task, ask, what am I here to accomplish? Then do just that. With clarity, with calm, with commitment. And when your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back. No judgment, just discipline. Again and again. That practice, that's your advantage. That's your edge. Because while most people chase 10 things and catch none, you'll chase one and catch it completely. Focus also feeds peace. You'll feel less overwhelmed, less reactive, more centered, more powerful. And people will notice, not just in your productivity, but in your presence, in your clarity, in your ability to cut through noise and bring real value. So make focus your daily discipline. Protect it like your most precious resource, because it is. When others drift, you'll move with purpose. When others scatter, you'll build with precision. When others burn out, you'll break through. Because controlled attention isn't just a habit. It's a superpower. Here's what the most fulfilled, unstoppable people know. Success isn't just about results. It's about the person you become in the process. And that transformation, it starts with 3 quiet, invisible forces: initiative, resilience, and a mindset of gratitude and growth. Let's begin with initiative. High performers don't wait for permission. They don't ask, "Should I?" They ask, "How fast can I begin?" They start before they're ready. They act without certainty. They move while others hesitate. Think of someone like Oprah Winfrey. She didn't follow a roadmap. She built her own. Not because everything was in place, but because she moved anyway. She trusted herself to figure it out along the way. That's initiative. Not reckless action, but courageous momentum. Stop waiting for perfect timing. It won't come. Start with what you've got. Right now, take the first step. Speak the idea. Make the call. Launch the thing. Learn as you go. Because the moment you take action, you shift the energy. You break inertia. And once you do, the universe starts to respond. Now, let's talk about the truth. No one escapes adversity. Every great life includes challenge. But the successful, they don't avoid pain. They reframe it. When the storm hits, they don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What's this teaching me?" That's resilience. It's not about being tough. It's about being elastic. You bend, you adapt, and you come back stronger. Think of Bethany Hamilton, a champion surfer who lost her arm to a shark attack at 13 and was back on her board in a month. Why? Not just strength, not just courage, purpose, resilience. Every setback is a setup for your next evolution, if you're willing to grow through it. So when life hits hard, don't shrink, don't break. Rise, pause, breathe, learn, then get back up and keep building. Every time you do, your foundation gets stronger. Finally, let's bring in the most underestimated powers in the human spirit: gratitude and humility. In the race toward success, it's easy to forget the blessings, the support, the lessons that shaped you. But real strength remembers. Gratitude keeps you grounded. It turns effort into joy, setbacks into insight, and success into something deeply meaningful. Humility keeps your ego in check. It says, there's always more to learn, always room to grow. You don't need to have all the answers. You need to stay open, curious, willing, because the most magnetic people, the ones who lift others, who earn trust, who leave a mark, they're not just brilliant. They're grateful. They're humble. They know their power, but they use it to serve. And that combination, that's where fulfillment lives. So let this be your code. Act without waiting. Rise when it's hard. Learn with humility. Live with gratitude. And never stop becoming. Because your greatest power isn't in what you have. It's in who you choose to be. And the world. It makes way for the person who walks with purpose, speaks with integrity, and keeps rising, no matter what. This is your moment. Start the climb.